Have you ever thought about the air quality in your home and how it might be affecting your day-to-day life? Carbon dioxide is something that's all around you, safe in small quantities, but in enclosed areas at increased levels, it can affect your sleep and your concentration. It only needs CO2 levels to reach 1400 parts per million for our cognitive performance to drop significantly. So if you're working in a small home office and you're finding the daily grind to be a bit too much, then it's possible that CO2 levels are building up in the room without you even knowing. What we're looking at today is the SONOFF AirGuard CO2 air quality monitor, and it's available to buy now. It's a small device with accurate CO2 detection, temperature and humidity monitoring, and audible alerts to let you know when you should be opening a window in the room. In this video, I'm looking at everything this has to offer, finding out what it can and can't do, and ultimately seeing how well it performs. Hey everyone, my name's Simon and welcome to Bite of Geek, a channel that's all about home assistant and smart home technology. So a big thank you to SONOFF for sending me out the AirGuard CO2 monitor to test and review on the channel. As always, they've had no editorial input into this video and you'll get my honest thoughts and opinions about it. So on the box, you'll see that we've got the Matter logo, and this is a Matter over Wi-Fi device. It supports Home Assistant, Google, Amazon, SmartThings and Apple smart home ecosystems. Inside the box we have a handy little cheat sheet, an installation guide, the monitor itself and a nice long USB cable. The front of the monitor features a clear 3.73-inch monochrome LCD display, and on the back is the Matter barcode and pairing code, the USB port and a kick-out stand, so you can put this on a tabletop or shelf. Now, having the USB port on the back does stop you mounting it on a wall. However, the monitor has so many detection zones on it, including a large area on the back, that really you should be avoiding that if you can. Across the top of the monitor, we have a Wi-Fi pairing button, a settings button, and a switch for the buzzer and indicator light. It's nice to have some physical buttons here, and it means you don't have to go into an app to turn basic functionality on or off. To get started with the monitor, well, it's just a case of attaching the USB-C cable to a power adapter and waiting for it to go into pairing mode. Now at this point, you've really got a couple of options as to how you want to proceed with this. You can either add it to the eWeLink app or add it to your smart home ecosystem. And from my testing, the capabilities differ depending on which route you take. I tried it with both the eWeLink app and Home Assistant, and I'll go through the differences in just a moment. But once you've added it to one of those, then there really isn't much else to do as it's up and running immediately. The AirGuard CO2 is primarily a CO2 detector and features an NDIR sensor for a high level of detection and accuracy. It has a detection range of between 400 and 5,000 parts per million and an accuracy of plus or minus 50 parts per million. And as it's mains powered, it's able to update its readings every 5 seconds. On the front of the monitor, you've got a small LED. Under that, on the main display, we have a couple of indicators for the alarm and the Wi-Fi. Then taking up most of the display is the current CO2 reading, and finally below that we have the current temperature and humidity readings. As I mentioned earlier, it has lots of ventilation points all around the case, which effectively gives you a 360 degrees detection zone. A lot of CO2 monitors tend to focus on a single point, either at the front or the side of the unit for their detection zone. So it's good to see SONOFF have put some thought into this when designing the monitor. If the AirGuard CO2 does detect higher levels of CO2, then it has multiple ways to alert you to that fact. Some of those are on device and some via the eWeLink app. But the most noticeable of these is the LED at the top of the monitor, which will change colour according to the current air quality, and this will match those settings you define via the app. It also features an audible alarm, which sounds when CO2 levels reach their highest levels. And for the size of the unit, this is quite loud, and it certainly gets your attention when it goes off. Both of these are configurable, and I'll go through that in just a moment. But if you enjoy this type of smart home content, then why not hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss my next video. However, taking a look at the eWeLink app, you can see the current air quality, the temperature and humidity readings, and if you specify your current city, then you'll also get tips to improve the indoor air quality. You also have access to historical data for these readings, which you can download if required. If you need to calibrate the temperature or humidity readings, then you can adjust those as required, and you can also change from Celsius to Fahrenheit if needed. At the moment, there isn't a way to manually calibrate the CO2 readings. I asked SONOFF about this, and it's in their product roadmap and will be available in a future update. The monitor has a predefined alert thresholds for the CO2, temperature and humidity levels, which I find to be in line with other monitors like this, and they seem to work fine, but you can adjust those if you need to. And if you don't want the audible alert going off during certain times, then you can set up a do not disturb schedule for that. And in addition to that, the air quality indicator LED can be adjusted to be completely off, have its brightness turned down, or again, you can set up a schedule to turn it off, which is really useful if you don't want to see that at night when you're trying to sleep. You also have the option to configure push notifications to alert you when the CO2, temperature or humidity readings reach certain levels, which is handy if you decide to turn off the alarm or the LED indicator. And finally, you can set up scenes for controlling other SONOFF devices based on the readings from the AirGuard monitor. So you could flash an LED strip if the CO2 levels were too high, for example. So to start with, I put the AirGuard monitor by an open window for 30 minutes to calibrate it down to a baseline before using it. I've had it set up on my desk for a while now, and I've been running it alongside two other monitors that I've previously reviewed on the channel, just to see how the readings hold up in daily use. Now, with me working in the room with no open window, it's worth noting that all three devices showed slightly different CO2 levels, with the SONOFF consistently trending a little higher than the rest. However, these kinds of variances are totally expected, and the gap is well within the accuracy specification, so not something that I'm concerned about. Interestingly, when it came to the temperature and humidity, they were all remarkably consistent and practically neck and neck with their readings. The inclusion of the LED indicator on the front of the unit is something I really appreciate. Since the main display isn't backlit, it would normally be useless at night. However, that little light is perfect, as I can instantly get an idea of the current air quality and crack open a window if needed. And of course, one of the biggest advantages of this being mains powered is the continuous real-time data stream. Unlike battery operated monitors that often sleep to save power, this unit provides constant updates to both the screen and your smart home ecosystem, making it a much better choice for those who want responsiveness over portability. SONOFF also offer another monitor in their product range, the AirGuard PM 2.5, which is also a matter over Wi-Fi air quality monitor. It's an identical design to this monitor, except it focuses on particulate matter instead, and it's also quite a bit cheaper. It's an interesting approach to split these into two distinct products. Certainly, feedback on previous reviews does suggest that not everyone wants to pay for features they're not going to use. However, if it were possible, I'd love to see SONOFF introduce a combined version of this product. Hit the like button if you'd like to see that as well. Now, adding the AirGuard CO2 monitor to Home Assistant is a simple process. I just went through the steps of adding a Matter device via the Home Assistant mobile app, and then the monitor just shows up, oddly as a Wi-Fi smart switch, which is a little confusing, and perhaps a Wi-Fi smart monitor would have been a better name. In terms of what the monitor exposes, well, you get the air quality, and as you can see, it's currently good. You get the CO2 levels in parts per million, the humidity level, and finally the current temperature. Noticeably missing from this though are options to turn off the sound and the LED light. This capability is available in the eWeLink app, so I'm hoping that maybe SONOFF can add that at some point in the future. As I showed earlier, the eWeLink app has a lot of other features available, and the majority of those are reproducible in Home Assistant with some simple automations and dashboard design. It's also worth noting that if you use the SONOFF LAN integration in Home Assistant, which isn't official, then you'll be sorely disappointed with what's exposed, as none of the information is available at all. And talking of what information is available, as you can see here, this is what you'll get via your smart home ecosystem. As you can see, Google and SmartThings offer the highest level of functionality, although Home Assistant can have voice support if you're using Home Assistant voice. The SONOFF AirGuard CO2 is a great device for those who primarily want to monitor CO2 levels in their home. It's a nice compact design with a clear display that gives you the important information right where you need it. Audible alerts and the LED indicator are nice additions and make it instantly obvious when the air quality is poor, allowing you to act and ventilate the room. Add on the temperature and humidity readings, and this makes this a handy little monitor to have around the home. It's a simple device that does its job very well, so given this, I don't have any major complaints about it. The obvious thing is the discrepancy between the functionality in the eWeLink app and the Matter integration in Home Assistant. Whilst the core information is there, I'd like to see those missing items added in, and I'm sure that could be done with a future update. Other than that, and if the form factor could be maintained, then I'd like to see a version of this with the particulate matter support as well for those that would like a combined unit. If you want to pick up the SONOFF AirGuard CO2 air quality monitor, then it's available now for £46 or $50 US. I'll leave an affiliate link in the description below, along with an exclusive discount code that SONOFF have provided just for my audience. That code is only valid for a short while though, so don't wait too long if you want to pick one of these up. Alternatively, you can scan the QR code showing on the screen here if you'd prefer to do that instead. If you found this video helpful, then I'd appreciate a thumbs up, and why not subscribe to the channel for more smart home content like this. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.